How's it going, Justin?
Good.
With a guy like Juice, who accomplished so much last year in his first year, what is the offseason like for him, and how do you kind of keep pushing him to the next level? What is next for him?
My challenge to Juice has been, we always talk about in our room is playing with something to prove and coaching with something to prove. So my whole challenge to him was, hey man, were you a flash in the pan 1 year guy, or can you come back and do the same thing and do it better? So that's been my challenge to him. Juice is the kind of kid, though, he's pretty self-motivated. I think he remembers where he came from, and he's always got that edge. He's trying to win. He's trying to compete. He's not a guy that takes a lot of motivation every single day. So really proud of how he's working and how he's pushing himself to get better. And, I think his ultimate goal is to play at the next level, and I think he knows he's got to put really good stuff on tape for another year, and I'm really pleased with how he's doing.
Justin, two for you, and I'll be the one that asked the question since David's not here today. Obviously, there were rumors over the last couple of weeks that schools had reached out to you. I know you're not new to that. Can you just address that if you could, and just obviously just deciding just to stay at South Carolina? If it's okay, I don't want to really get into all that. I'm happy to be home. It's always good to, it's a direct result of the players and Coach Beamer and the program we're building. But I'm happy here. I'm happy with Shane, with Coach Beamer, and happy with Coach Loggins. And I love my room, and I love my guys, and I think we got a really good thing going here. All right. Bringing it back here, appreciate you taking the time to answer that. With DeCarrion Joyner hopping around, obviously you're no stranger to him moving around, this and that. How has he been handling everything? And, not to put a percent on it, but how much is he working with the receivers?
Yeah, DK is, I think everybody in here knows, DK is the ultimate Gamecock, man. He's Carolina through and through, and he just wants to do whatever he can to help the football team. So the great thing about it is he's played so much quarterback that we know he knows how to do stuff like that, and he's played so much receiver. He's pretty comfortable with what we do in my room. And so he's been doing more running back than wide out. But, there's obviously when you get into a lot of your empty stuff and stuff where the running back's out and has to run pass routes, it's really nice to know you got a receiver / quarterback / running back out there doing everything. So he's more running back, but he's done a great job, man. If all of our kids can grow up to be like DeCarrion Joyner, we will have all done a good job.
Justin, obviously you've had a ton of guys that have played for you that have gone on to the NFL, but when you look at a guy like Juice, when he's making that decision of, hey, to come back or not, or go pro, whatever that might be, I guess, what's that kind of conversation like with him? What were kind of some of the things that you guys talked about as far as what might be pros, cons, whatever, and I guess how did that kind of go as far as you guys talking through that?
Yeah, it was a long process. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of hard work that goes in just to get into the fall, and sometimes it can seem overwhelming for a kid, especially with Juice's situation back home and having a chance to take care of some of his family back home. I know that's really important to him, and it should be. So we talked about the pros and we talked about the cons, and Juice did a good job of seeking mentorship with his high school coach, with his family back home, and there was a lot of hard conversations, and there were times when I was like, man, he's probably not coming back. But we're all really glad he's back. He's such a good kid. He's a really good football player, but he's an even better person, even better kid. And I think he did a really good job of doing his homework and listening to the right people. And obviously, we're all really excited he's back.
We were talking to Xavier the other day about just kind of the Gator Bowl and the impact that had on him. Have you seen any kind of change in him since having that sort of breakout performance at the end of the year?
I don't know if it was necessarily the end of the year. Throughout the beginning of the year, he probably wasn't playing as much as he wanted to. And instead of pouting and sulking and letting it get him down, he worked even harder. And, I think the Texas A&M game with the kickoff return really, helped catapult the rest of his year. And we were thin in that bowl game, and he had to play a lot of snaps. But Xavier's going to work. I got Juice and Xavier and AB, all those guys, a lot of those guys in my room. I got to tell them whoa before I have to tell them go. So they do a good job of working hard. But I'm really proud of the way he finished up the year, and he's obviously had a great offseason, great winter, and he's doing really good this spring.
How have you seen some of those freshman receivers from last year, Khaled Cord and Lanison? How do you see them continue to develop?
Yeah. All of us are. The great thing about this is all of us are learning this offense at the same time. So they've done a really good job. They work extremely hard. They want to be coached hard. They want to be good. Obviously, there's the whole speed to the game at this level, and especially in this league. There's a lot of things that come with that, but they've done a good job of getting bigger, getting faster, getting stronger. And the next thing is just mastering this offense, so you don't have to think. And when you get out there and play, man, you just go play fast.
How's Eddie Lewis come along since y'all been able to get with him?
He's done really good. I think he was a little bit in a little bit of a tempo offense and all that stuff when he was at Memphis, but he's done a really good job. Works really hard. He can play multiple positions. Quiet. You never really know what he's thinking. He doesn't really say much, doesn't really talk much, but he's an older guy that kind of leads by example. And he's done a really good job. The thing I'm proud of with him, and I'm proud of our guys, is he's done a good job of getting in and meshing with the guys and really being part of the group. It kind of feels like he's been here for 2 years already.
You mentioned Dowell's offense a second ago. What were your early impressions of that? What were conversations like with him, and how does his offense kind of jive with what you want from your receivers?
Yeah, I never overlapped with Coach Loggins. I didn't really know him. I really didn't know him at all, other than speaking to him after the game when we played Arkansas. A lot of those kids at Arkansas, when it started coming out that he was coming here, a lot of those guys that I recruited there were, hey, Coach, you're going to love this guy. A lot of guys in the profession that I think a lot of that Coach Loggins knows were hitting me saying, hey, man, he's an awesome guy, first off, and he's a really good football coach. So, I'm really excited that he's here. I think, the offense gives our guys a lot of opportunities to push the ball down the field and to go make plays. And any receiver, they'll do whatever you need them to do if they know that, eventually they're going to get chances to go make plays down the field and make one-on-one catches and try to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, staying with that, Justin, Shane earlier in the week was talking about, some of the conversations he's had with some of the players about their feedback so far on the offense. I know you probably don't want to share too much about what the offense is looking like, but what have some of those conversations been with your receivers in terms of some of the positive feedback that they've liked so far with the offense?
Yeah, I think just kind of just what I said. I mean, getting the ball to them in space. I think getting the ball, pushing the ball down the field, giving them chances to make deep catches. These guys, receivers, if they know they got a chance to get the ball, man, they're going to do whatever they can without the football if they know they're going to get rewarded. And that's what Coach Loggins does. If you block for the rock, man. If you block and you do your job and you're unselfish, you're going to get chances to go make plays. So if you come up here and you study and you put a lot of work in, then we're obviously going to help you out, make sure you get rewarded.
Justin, you obviously knew Trey before he was here. So, what has it been like seeing him kind of integrate into this team, and where do you see him making the biggest impact in the fall?
Probably it is crazy to see him here. He was 17 years old. He played 3-4 games his freshman year. He played an SEC game against Ole Miss his freshman year. He was 17. That's what people don't realize. He graduated early. He's a lot bigger than what he was when I had him. He's put on a lot of weight, but he looks really good. Probably one of the biggest things with Trey is just his leadership. He's very, very smart. And I think just like a lot of these guys, they know it's just kind of like the last go around, and they want it to be their best. And he obviously came here for a reason, but he's done a good job of adapting to the culture that Coach Beamer has here, and he fits us. He's a great kid. He's got a good spirit about him. He's got a smile that lights up a room, and y'all know him. He can come in here and take this room over. But it's a credit to his family. He's got great parents. He's got 2 great sisters. So it's been really cool. It's been really cool to have him here. So he and I had a really, really good relationship. I remember when we were there at Arkansas, when he walked out of the building, when he came on his visit, there's no way we're getting that kid. And we ended up getting him. And he had 2 good years with me, and then Coach Loggins put weight on him, and now he's playing tight end.
Justin, I know you got an older room at least for now, but some of those younger guys, whether it's Omega, Landon, whoever it might be, Kyleek, I guess, how have you kind of seen some of those guys come along when, obviously you've got older guys that are probably going to play a lot of those snaps. How have you seen some of those guys take it to the off season and where they're at least right now, sort of that younger group?
Yeah, I think kind of one of the things building off the question earlier is those guys in the bowl game saw how thin we got. And Omega had to play in the bowl game. Landon had to play a couple snaps in the bowl game. So I think they see the opportunity to help. Losing Jalen Brooks, losing Josh Van, Corey Rucker leaving. I mean, that stuff that creates a lot of opportunity for a lot of young guys. Something that they probably didn't think was going to happen when they were here in the fall. So they've done a good job. I mean, Omega is up here every day studying. Landon's doing a good job of studying. Khalid, all those guys. DJ Black. Those guys are working really, really hard to get in here and to learn the system. And really looking forward to the freshmen coming in the summer too. Easy.